Recording in progress.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Right. Hari. So, yes, turn on the videos, please. So, we have discussed in the 12th lesson about the electrochemical cells and electrolysis, right? As an application of electrolysis, we learned about electroplating as well. That's where we have stopped. Yes, turn on the videos, please, all of you. Then today we have to do the rest of the things in that lesson. Corrosion of metals, right? එතකොට දැන් අපේ plan එක තමයි now we are going to finish the 12th lesson and then I will start the 11th unit, that is electronics, right? Electronics lesson. Okay, Zara. Got 1 to 10 done. 11th we will start next. 12, then 13, 14, 15 remaining, right? For the 13th lesson you will get a tute, 14th you will get a tute, 15th a lengthy one. So along with 11 I will start 15 next, right? 11 and 15. 11 නම් ගොඩක් දවස් යන්නේ නැහැ. 15 is a lengthy unit. So with the rest of, along with the 11th unit, I will start unit 15 and it will be continued with the other lessons, right? එහෙම තමයි හිතාගෙන ඉන්නේ. මේවට හරි දැන් මේ ටික ඉවරයි කියලා නෙමෙයි. This is done. This will be finished today. Then this is our next plan. හරිද? එහෙත් තමයි යන්නේ. කෝ ඉතින් Andrea, Muri, okay. Chris mentioned morning. Janindi, Sesandi, Kavisha, Metuja. So pain enna one කට්ටිය ඉතින් දැන් this is the beginning of a new month නේද? In the morning also I mentioned you. You have only 4 months left. ඊට වඩා දවසක්වත් වැඩි නෑ. Only 4 months. Today is 1st of August. Right, Harry? So we'll start with the corrosion of metals, right? Corrosion of metals. Corrosion of metals. Under that, we are basically going to discuss about rusting of iron, which is the special term that we are using for the corrosion of iron, rusting of iron. Harry. So what do you mean by corrosion, and how do you know that the metals have been corroded? How do you know? Yes, tell me. Kian Balan. Kian there is no tute for the 12th lesson. Up 12th lesson we have done it for 2 weeks, right? Yes. But you didn't get a tute for the 12th lesson. Yes. Corrosion of metals. But how do you know that a metal is corroded? Just tell me. Appearance changes. Yes, Tinuri. Appearance of the metal changes. Metal surface undergoes certain changes, maybe color changes. Sometimes we will be able to see certain color patches, right? Or ditches may be there. And the metallic luster is lost. Either. Oh, Metuj, what happened to your hand? There's something wrong.
It's cold in
What happened?
Patuna.
Sorry?
Patuna.
Patuna. So we both are the same time. Is there a fracture? Yes. Is there a fracture? Yes.
Yes.
Exam ළඟ තියෙදි කරගන්න ඒවා නේ. Then it is your right hand, I guess. Yes.
I'm a left-hander.
You are left hand, luckily. නැත්තම් ලියන්නත් බෑනේ. හරි. පරිස්සම් වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒවත් හිතන්න ඕනේ මේ exam එක ළඟ තියාගෙන. I can remember මං හිතන්නේ දැන් he is a A-level tuition master. In Royal College, there was a student like that. He was very bright, clever student. O-level ළඟ තියෙද්දි මොකක් හරි කරගත්තා. ලියන්න බැරි වුණා. අතින් ලියන්න බැරි වුණා. එතකොට අර කරන්න රෙකෝඩ් කරනවා. ඒ නිසා ඒව ගැනත් හිතන්නේ. කොහොම හරි A-level sorry O-level හොඳට පාස් වුණා. අර එයා කියන දේ එතන එක්සැමිනර් කෙනෙක් ඉඳලා ඒක රෙකෝඩ් කරලා එහෙම ලොකු වැඩ ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. එහෙම වුණා. ලියන්න බැරි වුණාම. හරිද? පරිස්සම් වෙන්න. ඊපස්සේ කොහොම හරි O-level 9S ගත්තා. ඊට පස්සේ A-level 3S අරගෙන දැන් he is doing he went to the medical මේ engineering faculty ගිහිල්ලා දැන් A-level combined maths or chemistry tuition කරනවා. හරි මට යාව මතක් වුණා දැක්ක ගමන්. මේ ඒ නිසා ඕවත් හිතන්න ඔය මේ විභාග ළඟ තියෙදි එක එක dangerous වැඩ කරන්න යන්න එපා. You have to be careful. හරි. එතකොට in the corrosion of metals the metallic luster is lost, right? ඊට පස්සේ the color changes, right? The attractive appearance is not there. Likewise, we can identify this metal has undergone corrosion. Okay. Enisa we have to find the reasons for corrosion as well as we have to take steps in order to minimize corrosion. Then ඒ වගේ step එකක් තමයි we learned about electroplating, right? Once we plate the metal surface with another metal which is resistant to corrosion, එක වර්ග දෙකක් තියෙනවා. We will discuss at the end of this part. So it will be protected from rusting. හරිද? So we will අපි කෙටියෙන් ලියමු. මෙහෙම ලියන්නකො sentence එකක්. The The metals undergoing changes. The metals undergoing changes such as tarnishing, tarnish, tarnishing. Then the loss of metallic luster, loss of metallic luster. Surface becoming deterred. Color changes. When they are exposed to air. When they are exposed to air. Is known as corrosion. Corrosion of iron is termed as rusting. Rusting of iron. Therefore, our next topic becomes rusting of iron. Rusting of iron. So, you know, we talk about rusting of iron because iron is a metal with a wide range of applications, right? The vehicle parts, the in building construction, house construction, machines, even in the ships, bridges, all these are made out of iron or steel. Steel is iron and carbon mixed together. There is stainless steel as well, but the main component is iron there. Therefore, it is important to talk about rusting of iron. What are the factors needed for the rusting of iron, as well as how to avoid rusting, right? First, we will find out what are the factors needed for rusting of iron. We are using a book or A4 sheets. Actually, we can write them at once. නැත්නම් එකින් එක ලියමු. That is up to you. ඔයගොල්ලෝ කැමති විදිහකට ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන් because you are the people who are going to study your note. Therefore, you can arrange it in a way that is convenient for you. Hari, put the next topic, rusting of iron. Rusting of iron. Hari. To test this, actually we are going to use iron nails, right? Rusting of iron. To test this, we are going to use iron nails. Actually, nowadays, the iron nails that are in the market, they are with a zinc coating, right? Some of them may, the ones without the zinc coating, we may have undergone rusting even. But we have to clean the iron nails. Now, before the experiments, අපි පුළුවන් තරම් කෙටියෙන් ලියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ note එක short note එකක් වෙන්න. Before the experiments, the iron nails should be cleaned. කොහොමද clean කරන්නේ? If they have a zinc coating, we have to remove that, right? Nails with a zinc coating are immersed in a dilute hydrochloric acid solution for about 10 minutes. Then zinc dissolves, right? Then you have to wash the nail with water. Then කියලා දාන්න. Then wash the nails with water. That is how you are going to clean the iron nails. Therefore, I don't need to say this at the beginning of each and every activity. For all the activities, you are going to clean the iron nails in this manner. Hari. Then we can write the 3 activities that we are going to find the factors needed for rusting. අපි එකකින් එක ගමු. So activity 1, finding out whether air is essential for rusting. Air is essential for rusting. Okay. For this, we are going to have 2 boiling tubes or test tubes. Right, then we are going to insert 2 cleaned iron nails. Right, 2 cleaned iron nails. Then to this one you have put cold water. Cold water. Say these are boiling tubes. Right. So these are the 2 cleaned iron nails. For this one you have put cold water, and for the next one you have put boiled water. Here you have put boiled water. boiled water, and on the top of water you have put a layer of coconut oil, right? Once you put coconut oil, since it is immiscible with water, it makes a distinct layer of coconut oil. Layer of coconut oil. Then මට කියන්න, what would be the observations if I name these as A and B? Yes. What would be the observations? Yes, which will undergo rusting. Yes. කියන්න කතා කරන්න. What will undergo rusting?
The nail in the test tube A.
Yes, Manuti. The nail in test tube A will undergo rusting, and at the same time, by that time, we will not see any change on the iron nail in B. එකත් ටික දවසක් තව වැඩිපුර දවසක් තිබුණොත් it will also undergo rusting, but when we are making the observations, after we'll say 2 days or 3 days, right? Make the observations after 2 days. So on iron nail A, we will find a reddish brown substance. That is iron rust. You know, iron rust is reddish brown in color. Then in B, there is no any change. We'll write the observations also. Iron nail A. A is rusted. And there is no change in B. There is no change in B. What are the factors that are missing in B? Then what are the factors that were available in A? අපි ඒට තියෙන්නේ මොනවද කියලා ලියමු. It has water, නේද? It has water, as well as, since it is opened and since it is cold water, it has air, right? In A, there is both water and air. In B, what happens? There is water. There is water. But since it is boiled, air is removed. Air is removed while boiling. Right? Air for B. There is water, but there is no air. Air is removed while boiling. Removed while boiling. And you know, air can get dissolved in water. The aquatic organisms get gases like that. But since there is a layer of coconut oil, that is also restricted. Air is not allowed to get dissolved in water due to the layer of coconut oil. Due to the layer of coconut oil. Coconut oil. Coconut කියලා ලියුවේ oil කියලා ලියා ගන්න. එතනින් දාන්න. Air is removed while boiling, and air is not allowed to get dissolved in water due to the layer of coconut oil. In B, there is water but no air. What is our conclusion? You can write the conclusion that air is essential for rusting. Write the conclusion. air is essential for rusting. හරි නේද? Right. Okay. Then we will move on to the next activity, right? So if air is essential for rusting, we have to find, air is a mixture of gases. So which component in air is essential for rusting of iron? Did you write the conclusion? You have to say air is essential for rusting. These are very easy, right? Hurry. Shall we move on to the next one? Liana, activity 2. Finding out which component in air is essential for rusting. Finding out which component in air is essential for rusting. That is activity 2. Which component in air is essential for rusting? මට textbook එකේ diagrams වලින් යන්නත් පුළුවන් මොකද when I write a lot it is somewhat difficult yet. I will explain. ඔන්න දැන් කොහොමද හොයන්නේ which component in air is essential for rusting, right? For that actually it is not a 100% successful activity, but we can come to an assumption like, right? 11, it is 12. හරි. අන්න මේක තමයි අපි කතා කළේ. Then the next one, which component in air is essential for rusting? For that you need two boiling tubes once again, and one is with a cluster of iron wool. නැත්නම් අපි කියන්නේ iron wool යකඩ කෙඳි තියෙන්නේ, right? You can take a lump of it. ගුලියක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Then you have to trap it on the bottom as in a way that it will not fall, right? Then you have to trap it and keep the boiling tubes inverted, right? So at the beginning, actually, at the beginning, මෙතන පොඩි mistake එකක් තියෙනවා. So these two will have water up to the same level at the beginning, right? Like this, right? Something like this. මේ වතුර නැති වෙන්නේ නැහනේ. නැත්තම් අපි මේ ගානට අඳිමු. At the beginning it is something like this. At this level there is water. මෙන්න මෙතනට තියෙනවා වතුර. Right? හරි. So this is empty and this is with iron wool. Once you keep this for few days, 2 or 3 days, you will make two observations. එකක් තමයි the iron wool, the color of iron wool has been changed. That means iron wool has undergone rusting. ඊට පස්සේ if we say that the initial height above the water level, initial height above the water level was simple h, we'll say above the water level, right? After 2 or 3 days you will observe that the water level, the water level has been increased by 1/5 of the initial height. Okay? Now this is h over 5. 1/5 of the initial height has been filled with water after few days. So what does it say? 1/5 of earlier there was air. Now 1/5 of air has been occupied by water. නේද? ඒ කියන්නේ 1/5 of air is consumed. To fill that gap, water level has been increased. Understood? 1/5 of air has been consumed. Okay? And now as the observation we can say, observation A B දාලා නැහැ නේද? අපි XY කියලා දාමු. This is X and this is Y. Right? Observations. Number 1, iron wool has rusted. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් water level 1/5 කියන්නේ කොච්චරක්ද as a percentage? That is 20% නේද? 1/5. So water level in Y has increased nearly by 20%. Nearly by 20%. Right? So the reason, as the explanation, you can say 1/5 of or 20% of air has been consumed. Right? 20% of air has been consumed for the rusting of iron. And what is the gas with a percentage of about 20%? That is oxygen. And එහෙමයි conclude කරන්න. හරිද? observation ඊට පස්සේ මේ පැත්තට එන්න conclusion. Conclusion about 20% of air is consumed for rusting. අපි දන්නවා percentage of oxygen in air, percentage of oxygen in air is equal to about 21%. And we can conclude that oxygen is needed for rusting of iron. Oxygen is needed for rusting of iron. මම කියන එක අපිට හරියටම accurately කියන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් නෙවෙයි, but we can do an activity and assume like that. හරි නේද? ඉන්දුනි, ගවීෂා, ජනින්දි ඉන්නව නේද? ඇන්ඩ්‍රියා, කවීෂා. So the setup down is shown is after the observation, right? Like it is not before the rusting. No, this is after the activity is done. Then normally at the beginning it should be like this, no? At the beginning it should be like this. At the beginning water should be at the same level in both. Right? This is the one with the iron wool, X and Y. Then after 2 days, it will be something like this. Harine? At the same level. Water is at the same level. Finished? Hari. Then we are going to show that water is essential for rusting of iron. Right. The next activity. Activity 3. You have to say. Harine? Erase kala. The third activity. Whether water is essential for rusting. So for that you need 4 cleaned iron nails, 2 boiling tubes, 2 stoppers. You can use coke stoppers or rubber stoppers. Then anhydrous calcium chloride is used. Anhydrous calcium chloride absorbs moisture, right? So you keep these the cleaned iron nails like this. Actually here we have used 4 iron nails. One is upright, and the other one is inverted, because someone will say that the tip of the iron nail will have a more probability of rusting, or head will have a high probability of rusting. To show that there is no such impact, we have used 2 cleaned iron nails on either side, one upright and the other one inverted. Okay. So here you can label the rest. Stopper, rubber stopper or the coke stopper. Here also the stopper. Boiling tubes, anhydrous calcium chloride. It absorbs moisture. Now, liyan observations and conclusion. Mokada venne? Yes. In B, the inner parts, the parts which are inside the stopper, inside the tube, inside the boiling tube, has undergone rusting. Right? In A, mokada venne? Varadine. Mokada kale. In B, the parts which are outside this boiling tube have undergone rusting. In A, all the parts of the iron nails have undergone rusting. And that is the observation. And what was lacking inside test tube, boiling tube B, that is water or moisture. Right? Therefore, you can conclude that water is essential for the rusting of iron. And activity ke topic ke kannone to find out whether water is essential for rusting. To find out whether water is essential for rusting. Right? So the observations, you can say all the parts of the iron nails in A have undergone rusting, and B, only the parts outside the boiling tube have undergone rusting. And as the conclusion, you can say water is essential for rusting. Method එක මේ වචන ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. You can just draw the setup and say anhydrous calcium chloride absorbs moisture. Yes, finished. Varada. Just put a thumbs up once you have finished. So I don't know whether anyone is experiencing bad weather. දැන් ගොඩක් පැතිවලට වැහැලාලු නේද? හයියෙන් හුලං වෙනවලු. Last night here also it was heavy. There was heavy wind. අන්න ඔයාලා එක එක පැතිවලින් ඉන්නවනේ නේද? Don't go close to the sea these days. නේද? දැන් term test ඉවර හින්දා පොඩ්ඩක් you go on trips. So be careful not to go to the sea at any place. Okay, then let's move on to the next one. Before we move on to the next one, we have to summarize what are the things needed for the rusting of iron, factors needed for the rusting of iron. Now we can conclude that factors needed for rusting of iron ගෑවෙනකොට අර let us zoom out. touch එක point එකකින් විතරක් නෙවෙයි. Iron factors needed for the rusting of iron එකක් තමයි oxygen in air, and the other one is water or water vapor, right? Water or water vapor. Okay, now we will see how this happens. Actually here also oxidation and reduction half reactions take place during the rusting of iron also. Let's see. Process of rusting of iron. Now these equations are very important. Process of rusting of iron. Hari. බලමු මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. Then actually rusting means iron is no more there. Iron is converted into some other substance. And since iron is a metal, it undergoes oxidation, right? Iron undergoes oxidation. Iron forms positive ions by removing electrons. And that is the first thing that happens. Iron forms positive ions by removing electrons. You know, removal of electrons is known as oxidation. Therefore, and we know that the electrode where oxidation takes place is the anode. Now we can write this equation and say that it is the oxidation half reaction nathang anodic reaction. Iron forms Fe2 plus ions by removing electrons. So we can say that this is the oxidation half reaction. Oxidation or the anodic half reaction. Anodic half reaction. හරිද දැන් half reactions ලියන්න දන්නවා නේද? Anodic half reaction. So remember, iron can remove, a metal can remove electrons like this when there is someone to obtain those electrons. මේ අයින් කරන electrons ටික ගන්න කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා නම් තමයි it will remove electrons, right? So iron or a metal removes electrons when there is an agent to accept the electrons. කවුද in agent? There are two agents. මේ දෙන්න තමයි ගන්නෙ. Right? Accept the electrons. Who accept the electrons? Oxygen and water. Right? So oxygen and water. Oxygen and water will obtain electrons and form hydroxyl ions. Harida, that becomes the obtaining electrons is known as reduction. The electrode where reduction takes place is the cathode. So this is reduction. So we can say that this is the cathodic half reaction. We have to balance it. Cathodic half reaction. Cathodic half reaction. Hari. We'll balance. අපි මේ වගේ equations ලිව්වා. So if we put 2 in front of here, 2 hydrogen, but oxygen is not balanced. Therefore, it's better to put 4 hydroxyl. Then 4 oxygen means we have to put 2 in front of water. 2 oxygen, 2 oxygen, 4 oxygen. Then 4 hydrogen, 2 into 2, 4. Hari. Oxygen and hydrogen are balanced. Then we have to balance the charges. Here there are 4 negative charges on this side. Therefore, we have to put 4 electrons to this side. Hari neda? 2H2O plus O2 plus 4 electrons, 4 hydroxyl ions. This is the second half reaction. Hari. Now, since you have got 2 half reactions, just try to get the sum of these. Sum එක ගන්න කලින් කරන්න වැඩක් තියෙනවා ඔයාලා දන්නවා. Here there are 2 electrons, here there are 4 electrons. You have to make the number of electrons the same. එකට මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ? You have to multiply the first equation by 2. Multiply the first equation by 2 and add the second equation. ඒක තමයි කරන්න ඕනේ. කරන්න බලන්න මේ steps දෙක තනියම. So 1 multiplied by 2. Isalam api liya ganna one. What is the equation? When 1 is multiplied by 2. Yes. Fe, when it is multiplied by 2, 2 Fe. Then Fe2 plus 2 Fe2 plus 2 electrons, 4 electrons. This is the third equation, right? I will rewrite the second equation since it is on in the previous page. I will rewrite. So 2H2O plus O2, right? Plus 4 electrons, 4 OH minus. That was our second equation. So I can take the sum of 2 and 3. So I can say 2Fe plus 2H2O plus O2. Then 4 electrons on each equation. So 2Fe2 plus 4OH minus. This is what you get as the overall reaction. Overall reaction. So during rusting of iron, this type of an electrochemical process takes place, right? දැන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? මෙතන ඔයාලට පේනවා ferrous ions and hydroxyl ions are there. So these two will combine. These two will combine and form another ferrous hydroxide, FeOH twice. FeOH twice. ඒ වගේ කීයක් හදන්න පුළුවන්ද? 2. 2 FeOH twice can be formed. Harida. So this ferrous hydroxide will further react with oxygen to form hydrated ferric oxide, what we call as iron rust, right? That is the next step. This formed ferrous hydroxide, api ferrous කියන්නේ Fe2 plus කියන්නේ ferrous, Fe3 plus කියන්නේ ferric. Out of these two, Fe2 plus is more prominent. Please turn on the videos. I can see Ranu only. FeOH twice further reacts with oxygen. May equations තනියෙන් ලියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? You have to practice. අර මම හෙනද කියනවා වගේ දැන් ජූලයි ඉවරණියෙන් ජූලයි වල කැලෙන්ඩර් ෂීට්ස් ටික ගලාගෙන අනිත් පැත්තේ ලියලා පුරුදු වෙන්න. දැන් ඔක්කොම අපි කතා කරපු ඉලෙක්ට්‍රෝලයිසිස්, ඉලෙක්ට්‍රෝප්ලේටිං, ඊළඟට ඉලෙක්ට්‍රෝකෙමිකල් සෙල්ස් ඔක්කොම ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න අපි කතා කරපු දේවල් ටික. Reacts with oxygen, forming another හදන්න අපි කියන එකට when it is combined with water අපි යාට කියන hydrated ferric oxide. Hydrated ferric oxide is what we call as iron rust. Ferric oxide. The formula is FeOH twice. Sorry, hydrated ferric oxide Fe2O3 plus H2O. Hydrated again, it is combined with water. මේ මෙතන dot එකක් තියෙනවා. Fe2O3 dot H2O. That is hydrated ferric oxide. Right? අපිට ඒක හැදෙන හැටි equation එකක් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. This is what we call as hydrated ferric oxide, which is known as iron rust. Iron rust. It is reddish brown. It is reddish brown. So we'll write the equation FeOH twice further reacts with oxygen, forming Fe2O3 dot H2O, which is in the solid state. Iron rust is a solid substance. Fe2O3 dot H2O, and more water is there. This is in gaseous state, this is in solid state and liquid. So you can balance the equation. Actually, since we don't know the number of water molecules combined with Fe2O3 ferric oxide, we just write it as Fe2O3 dot XH2O as the iron rust. හරිද? මෙයාව balance කරන්නකෝ. Iron rust කියන්නේ හරියටම නම්, since we don't know the number of water molecules combined with it, we write it as dot XH2O, X number of water molecules combined. හරි නේද? අපි gradually හදාගෙන ආවා. මෙතන පෙන්නවා these two combine and form ferrous hydroxide. This ferrous hydroxide further reacts with oxygen, producing hydrated ferric oxide, which we call as iron rust. Yes, how to balance? මෙතන 2 දැම්මොත්, since there are 2 iron, 2. එතකොට 4 oxygen plus මෙතන another 2, 6. and මෙතන 3, 4, 5 තමයි එන්නේ. එතකොට if we put 3 here, 3 දාන්න බෑ. එහෙනම් 2 හරියන්නේ නැත්නම් we have to try with 4. එතකොට 4 Fe, then I can put 2 Fe2O3. එතකොට 4 Fe, 4 Fe. 4 into 2, 8 plus 2, 10 oxygen. So 2 into 3, 6 plus 2, 8. මෙතන 2 H2O දැම්මොත් oxygen is balanced. ඊට පස්සේ hydrogen 8 here, 2 into 2, 4 plus 4, 8. Then balance නේද? මේ මෙතන ඉස්සරහින් දාන number එක that belongs to each and every atom in the molecule, right? May 2, මෙතන 2 into 2, 4 Fe, 2 into 3, 6 oxygen. ඊට පස්සේ මෙතනත් තව oxygen කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා, 6 plus 2, 8. එහෙමයි ගණන් කරන්නේ, right? මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. මේවා තනියෙන් ලියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. Explain how was derived from 2 Fe. ඔයා අහන්නේ මනුති මෙතනින් මෙතෙන්ට ආපු විදියද? Are you asking about this?
No, miss, the one above.
this
Yeah.
one.
Yes, miss.
Oh, මෙතන පුතේ දැන් පේනවානේ these are the ions formed, right? දැන් අපි මේක ලියාගත්තේ by the sum of these two නේ 2 and 3 sum. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට ආව මේ පැත්තේ Fe2 plus a positive ion and a negative ion. Two oppositely charged radicals are there. So we can combine these two. එතකොට oppositely charged නිසා we combine ferrous hydroxide FeOH twice. දැන් මෙයාගේ the valency is 2. හරිද මෙයා -1. එතකොට මේක ලියන්න ඕනේ මම Fe2 OH minus 1. එතකොට once we exchange the valencies it becomes FeOH twice. එහෙම තමයි ආවේ. හරි නේද? ඊට පස්සේ ආ further oxidize වෙනවා කියලා මේක ආපු විදිය ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතන්න යන්න එපා. hydrated ferric oxide හැදෙනවා කියලා මෙතන හරි. හරි නේද මේක ආපු විදිය?
Yes, miss, thank you. Excuse me, miss.
Yes.
Miss, that 4 was put to balance the equation, right?
4 hydroxyl ගැන දහන්නේ.
Yes, miss.
ඔව්නේ.
Okay,
ඔන්න
miss.
මානුති මේ බලන්න. මේ මෙතන අපි in order to balance the equation අපි කලින් electrolytic reactions වල මෙයා ලිව්වා. Water plus oxygen forms hydroxyl ions. හරිද? එතකොට to balance this ඔන්න මම මේ ටික අයින් කළොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? In order to balance this එතන fourth අයින් වෙන්න එපා. හරි. When I am going to balance this then මම මෙතන oxygen 1 2 oxygen all together 3 මම මෙතන 3 දැම්මොත් 3 hydrogen මේ පැත්ත balance වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා I decided 2 දැම්මොත් 2 oxygen 2 හරියන්නේ නැහැ. 3 දාන්න බෑ. Then we can't balance hydrogen. Then I tried with 4. So 4 oxygen. මෙතන 2 තියෙනවා. If I put 2 in front of this, oxygen is balanced. ඊට පස්සේ 4 hydrogen. 2 into 2 4 hydrogen. ඔන්න hydrogen උත් balance වුණා. ඊට පස්සේ in this side the overall charge is -4. Therefore in a half reaction we have to make the overall charge on this side as well as -4. දෙපැත්තෙම charges සමාන වෙන්නත් ඕනේ in a half reaction. එතකොට මේ පැත්තේ electron 1 electron the charge is -1. Therefore I have to put 4 electrons to make the overall charge -4. එහෙමයි එතන ආවේ. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ I have to add 1 and 2. Then add කරන්න බෑ මොකද there are 2 electrons here 4 electrons here. Enisa I had to multiply the first equation by 2 in order to make this 4 electrons. So they are multiply kara 2 වලින් then we got the sum. හරිද මානුති?
Yes, teacher, thank you.
We put XR since we don't know the number of water molecules that combined exactly. ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට අපි දානවා දැන් hydrated copper sulfate වලට එතන අපි දානවා CuSO4.5H2O කියලා. ඒ වගේ මෙතන since any number of water molecules can combine with water we have put it as X since the value is not known exactly. put a dot instead of plus කියලා දාන්න dot එකක් දාන්න since it is combined කියන එක මේක ferric hydroxide ferric oxide වලට attach වෙලාමයි තියෙන්නේ කියන එක හරිද it is combined with the ferric oxide molecule that is why we put a dot there දැන් අපි copper sulfate anhydrous copper sulfate ලියනවා CuSO4 කියලා when we put water into copper sulfate, we call it as hydrated copper sulfate. Then we write it as CuSO4 dot 5H2O. Hari ned? Once you do A-level chemistry, you will be able to analyze these further. Then hari the prashna. Okay. දැන් ඔන්නම් පුංචි බ්‍රේක් එකක් අරන් එන්න තව පොඩි දෙයක් කතා කරන් තියෙන පොඩි කියන්නේ තව ටිකක් තියෙනවා ඒ කියන්නේ what are the factors that will speed up the rate of rusting ඊළඟට then we have to mention how to avoid rusting of iron ටික කතා කරන් තියෙනවා පොඩි බ්‍රේක් එකක් අරන් එන්නකෝ Hari. We'll start. Turn on your videos once again. Videos on karala penne inna. Then we have to mention about the effect of acids, bases and salts on the rusting of iron. Right? Once again, I will show that to you using the textbook. Video එකක් පෙන්වුවෙත් නෑනේ.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus.
When iron is exposed to moist air, Rusting of iron. When iron is exposed to moist air for a long time, it acquires a reddish-brown powder coat. The reddish-brown powder formed on iron in the presence of moist air is hydrated iron oxide and is called rust. This is called rusting of iron. Take 3 test tubes and place clean iron nails in each of them. Test tubes are labeled A, B, and C. In the test tube A, pour some water and cork it. Pour boiled distilled water in test tube B and about 1 milliliter of oil added before corking it. The oil will float on the water and prevent the
Can't you see the video? Can you see now? Can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
rusting of iron. When iron is exposed to moist air for a long time, it acquires a reddish-brown powder coat. The reddish-brown powder formed on iron in the presence of moist air is hydrated iron oxide and is called rust. This is called rusting of iron. Take 3 test tubes and place clean iron nails in each of them. Test tubes are labeled A, B, and C. In the test tube A, pour some water and cork it. Pour boiled distilled water in test tube B and about 1 milliliter of oil added before corking it. The oil will float on the water and prevent the air from dissolving in water. Add anhydrous calcium chloride in test tube C and cork it. Anhydrous calcium chloride will absorb the moisture from the air present in the test tube. Keep these 3 test tubes aside for 2 to 3 days. What we get to observe is that nails placed in test tube A are rusted because of the presence of air and water. Nails in test tube B do not get rusted because air was prevented from reacting with iron. Nails in test tube C do not get rusted because nails are only exposed to dry air. Anhydrous calcium chloride absorbs the moisture present in the test tube. We get down to the conclusion that both air and water are essential for rusting in iron to take place.
I made this animation in about
Rusting of iron. Rusting of iron is a common change that we observe in our day-to-day life. When a piece of iron is left out in the open for some time, it acquires a film of brownish substance. This is nothing but rust, and the process is called rusting. Almost every particle of iron kept in the open gets rusted, such as iron gates in parks or farmlands. Iron chairs gets rusted over a period of time. Rust is not ironed, and it's different from the iron on which it gets deposited. The process of rusting affects the iron particles and slowly corrodes them. Iron is used in making bridges, ships, cars, trucks, and many other equipment. The monetary loss would be huge due to rusting. Let's represent the process of rusting through this equation. Iron plus oxygen plus water gives rise to rust. Rust is nothing but iron oxide. Water and oxygen are essential for rusting. If there's more humidity in atmosphere, then the rusting hastens. The only way to prevent iron particles from rusting is to prevent them from coming in contact with atmospheric water and oxygen. A coat of paint or grease can be applied on the iron particles. These should be applied on a daily basis. One can also deposit a layer of metal like chromium or zinc on it. Galvanization is the process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron. Ships are made of iron, and these get rusted faster as the salt water hastens the process of rusting. In spite of being painted frequently, ships suffer a lot of damage due to rusting. Stainless steel, which is made of iron, carbon, and metals, nickel and manganese, does not rust.
Hari. Now let's see the impact of acids, bases as well as salts on rusting of iron. That would be our next activity. So you can say, write the next topic activity, impact of acids on rusting of iron. Impact of acids on rusting of iron. Impact of acids on rusting of iron. Hari. So here you are shown, they have taken 3 test tubes, 3 cleaned iron nails, one has cold water, the other one has water mixed with lime juice, and the third one has water mixed with dilute hydrochloric acid. You are asked to keep this for about 1 day and observe. So you will see that the rate of rusting, that this has undergone rusting first, right? This has undergone rusting first, this one second, and this one third. Actually rusting is very low, right? Write the observations as well as the conclusion. So what is the conclusion? Acids accelerate rusting, right? So that's the conclusion. You can say acids accelerate rusting of iron. That is why when you cut a lime or a lemon or any other fruit and keep the knife without washing, the knife undergoes rusting. That is why you are asked to wash them. That is the conclusion. Draw the setup. Right, then everything is indicated there. So as I mentioned in the paper class today, I will share your schedule for the month of August by Monday, right? එතකොට you can be prepared. We will have some more sessions in addition to the Saturdays, right? Hari. Then the next one, the bases, salts and bases. Hari. We'll move on to the next one, next activity. Effect of the impact of salts on rusting of iron. Right? එකත් අපි දන්නවා when it is in the coastal areas, the vehicle parts also undergo rusting faster because even the wind is salty. Salts accelerate rusting, right? So here you are given one test tube with ordinary cold water with a cleaned iron nail. The other one, dilute sodium chloride solution. It is a salt, right? So as the observation, you can say observation. මෙතන AB දීලා තියෙනවා. Rusting is greater in B than A. And as the conclusion, you can say මොකක්ද? Yes, salts. Sodium chloride is a salts accelerate rusting. Salts accelerate rusting. හරි. විනාඩියෙන් දාගන්න එකත්. Salts accelerate rusting. Right, next one. What about the bases? The bases, actually bases do not speed up rusting, right? They reduce the rate of rusting, right? ඔන්න ඊළඟ එකට යන්නද? ඉවරයිනේ වැඩි දෙයක් ලියන්න නැහැ. Impact of salts on rusting of iron. Draw the setup, observation, conclusion. That's it. හරි නේද රානු? Has done in the session. Then next activity, impact of bases on rusting of iron. So here, normal cold water with a cleaned iron nail, then dilute sodium hydroxide solution with a cleaned iron nail. So there, AB කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා. Observation, rusting is more in A than B. Right? Rusting is more in A than B. Right, then on conclusion, bases reduce the rate of rusting. So if we keep them in contact with something like soap, the rusting will be reduced. Rate of rusting. You know, rusting is a slow reaction. It is further reduced in the presence of bases. Right? So that is all about the factors affecting rusting. In the past, we have to learn as the last part, what are the methods of controlling the rusting of iron? How to control rusting of iron? හරි නේද පුතේ? ඔන්න ඊළඟට අපි යනවා rusting, controlling the rusting of iron. Right? How to control rusting of iron as the next topic. Right? now අපි ඒක මෙහෙම summary එකක් දාගමු. Control of rusting of iron. Rusting of iron. Right? So now we know that iron undergoes rusting. Iron undergoes rusting when iron becomes the anode. When the iron gets oxidized, Fe becomes Fe2 plus. Iron becomes oxidized. Then iron undergoes rusting. Right? If we can avoid iron becoming the anode, we can avoid rusting, right? Iron anode වෙන එක නැවැත්තුවොත් හරි. ඊළඟට there are two factors needed for the rusting of iron. So what are these two factors? Oxygen and water. If we avoid oxygen and water coming in contact with the iron, that can be avoided, right? Hari. Api mehema damu. There are two methods. එතකොට එකක් තමයි avoid iron coming in contact with oxygen and water. Oxygen and water. හරිද? Avoid iron coming in contact with oxygen and water. That is one method. ඒකට තමයි what we do, applying paint, grease, oil. ඕවා කරන්න to avoid this. නේද? Now, ඊළඟට the other method is avoid iron becoming the anode, right? Avoid iron becoming the anode. We call this as cathodic protection. Let iron be the cathode, right? Iron වලට අපි cathode එක වෙන්න දෙනවා. Then that is known as cathodic protection, right? Cathodic protection. Let iron be the cathode. එක මතක තියාගන්න විදිහ ඒ මම ලිව්වේ scientific term එක තමයි cathodic protection, right? Let iron be the cathode. එක මම මෙහෙම inverted commas වල දාන්නම්කෝ. Cathodic protection. Let iron be the cathode. මම ලිව්වේ මේ පෙන් එකෙන්ද? නෑනේ. හරි. Hari. එතකොට අපි බලමු, we will mention what are the things that we can do, right? So avoid iron coming in contact with oxygen and water. We can apply paint on iron objects, grills, gates. These are painted, right? Apply paint, right? That is one method. Then food containers වගේ ගත්තොත් apply iron with a tin coating. Apply iron with a tin coating, right? එතකොට food containers තමයි salmon tins, milk powder tins, biscuit tins, ඒවා තියෙන්නේ tin coating එකක්. හැබැයි මේ දෙකේදී මොකද වෙන්නේ? If this paint or tin coating is scratched, iron undergoes rusting. හරිද? දෙකේදීම coating එක scratch වුණාම එයා rust වෙනවා. Right? Apply paint, apply iron with a tin coating. Example, food containers. මේ දෙකේදීම වෙනවා. When the coating is scratched, iron undergoes rusting. When the coating, tin can, you know, tin metal, stannous SN, right? When the coating is scratched, because tin is less reactive than iron. When the coating is scratched, iron undergoes rusting. So that is a temporary method, right? So in these cases, iron becomes the anode once the coating is scratched. But in cathodic protection, what do we do? එන්න ඒකට activity එකක් තියෙනවා. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ප්‍රශ්න වලටත් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන activity එකක්. activity එක ඊළඟට කතා කරමු. First we will mention how to do this cathodic protection. මේකට අපි තව නමක් කියනවා sacrificial protection කියලා. එතෙන්දි කරන්නේ iron is kept in contact with the metal above iron in the activity series. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? The metal above iron in the activity series undergoes rusting. Undergoes oxidation. It undergoes oxidation. එයා sacrifice කරනවා itself to protect iron becoming to avoid iron becoming the anode. And therefore iron is protected. That other metal above iron in the activity is මොකද වෙන්නේ? It corrodes. It corrodes can it oxidizes. It oxidizes. And then ඒ නිසා එයා sacrifice කරන නිසා අපි මේකට sacrificial protection කියලාත් කියනවා. Sacrificial protection. Sacrificial protection. now මේ මොකක්ද කියලා අපි කියමු. keep iron in contact with metal above iron in the activity series. Right? Keep iron in contact with the metal above iron in the activity series. එතකොට more reactive metal becomes the anode. More reactive metal becomes the anode. It oxidizes. Iron is protected. Iron is protected. For example, now you know the ships. They sail in saline water mainly. The ships. So you know salts increase the rate of rusting. So how the ships are protected? Underneath the ships they have made big hulls. ලොකු සිතුරු හදලා තියෙනවා. ඉලෙන්න නෙමෙයි. Then these hulls are filled with large blocks of magnesium and zinc. So both magnesium and zinc are above iron in the activity. So they become oxidized. Iron is protected. paint එකක් දානවා මොහොම තද paint එකක් නැවුවල ඊට අමතරව හරිද මොකද paint එක scratch වුණොත් iron undergoes rusting. To avoid that, this sacrificial protection is also applied. Right? එතකොට these magnesium or zinc they undergo oxidation. Therefore they should be replaced time to time. ඒවා මාරු කරන්න ඕනේ කාලෙන් කාලෙට. මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ oxidize වෙනවා. Okay? තේරුණා නේද? ඔයගලන් බොහොම පැහැදිලි වෙන්න summary එකක් තමයි මේ දුන්නේ. එතකොට galvanizing is another method. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා GI pipes කියලා කියන්නේ. Galvanized pipes ඔය construction sites වල තියෙනවා අර marquees huts එහෙම ගහන්න ගේන්නේ අර යකඩ බට කියලා කියන්නේ ඒවා galvanized. GI galvanized iron කියන එක තමයි GI කියලා කියන්නේ. GI pipes. GI pipes. Roofing sheets. Roofing sheets තියෙනවා. GI stands for galvanized iron, right? ඊළඟට buckets තියෙනවා. Barbed wire, right? Galvanized iron. GI කියන්නේ galvanized iron. මට මෙතන ඉඩ මදි ඔක්කොම examples ටික ලියන්න. Galvanized iron. ඊළඟට plating iron with zinc. මෙතන අර electroplating කියන method එකත් use කරනවා නැත්නම් industrially there is another method to plate iron, zinc on iron. Plating iron with zinc. එතකොට as examples roofing sheets ඊළඟට buckets, barbed wire ඔය කම්බි මොනවාද වැටවල් වලට ගහන කම්බි, barbed wire fences. ඊළඟ example එක ships ගැන කියන්න ඉඩ නෑනේ. ඒක මම කියවන්නම්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මෙතෙන්ට ආවහම just raise your hand. I will read the next example about the ships. Right? හොඳටම හිතට ගන්න පුතේ ඕවා ප්‍රශ්නවල අහනවා. ඊළඟට මම ඊළඟ activity එක discuss කරලා ඉවර වෙනකන් leave වෙන්න එපා. That is an important activity in which you are asked questions in the exam. Done. එතෙන්ට ආවහම raise your hand, right? හරි. තව ටික දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. තිනුරි හරිද? සෙසන්දි, මියුරි, ජනින්දි. හරි නේද? Okay. All have raised their hands, right? So as the next example for the cathodic protection, you can say welding blocks of magnesium and zinc. Welding blocks of magnesium and zinc. Welding blocks of magnesium and zinc. To the hulls of ships, HULL, to the hulls of ships.
Can you repeat?
Welding blocks of magnesium and zinc. Welding blocks of magnesium and zinc to the hulls of ships. To the hulls of ships. To the hulls of ships. Full stop. These should be replaced. time to time. These should be replaced time to time since they undergo oxidation. Since they undergo oxidation. Since they undergo oxidation. Hari. And then we are going to show the effect of other metals on the rusting of iron. Right? On the last one. This is the last activity and the end of the lesson. Effect of other metals on rusting of iron. Very important and easy to understand. Now you know the theory in the previous one. මෙතන කතා කරන්නේ අපි cathodic protection ගැනත් mention කරනවා. Right? ඉස්සෙල්ලාම for this one we need to know how to make the medium. Yes. Can't you see the board properly? Lighting අඩු. දැන් හරිනේ? Can you see it now? Howද? Yes, please respond.
Yes, teacher.
Hari. අපි යමු. Effect of other metals. Now here we have to make a medium. අපි ඒකට කියන ඒගා medium එකක් කියලා. You know what is ඒගා? Agar is something like jelly, right? So we have to put the agar powder into hot water, right, and dissolve as in the same method that you make jelly, right? Then once it cools down, it gets solidified, right? So here also we are using a semi-solid medium by using agar. Liyan epa chutak inna. So we need to put that medium into 5 petri dishes like this. You know the petri dish. Draw them more or less equal in size, right? In the past, here we are going to put iron nails into the agar medium. Then mang issalama kiyanne how to make this agar medium කියලා තමයි. Agar medium, and we are going to put an iron nail to the first one. අපි මේවට numbers නම් 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. හරිද? In all 5 we have the agar medium with iron nails and some other metals. And mama කියන්න යන්නේ how to prepare the agar medium. How to prepare the agar medium. ඒකට අපි ගන්නවා we take about 250 cubic centimeters of water. Take 250 cubic centimeters of water into a beaker. ඒකට අපි add කරන දේවල් තියෙනවා. Add few drops of little amount little amount of phenolphthalein. ඒකම මම පහලින් ලියන්නම් why do we use this කියලා. Phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein is an acid base indicator, right? Add little amount of phenolphthalein. Then we have to add a few drops of little amount of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride. Sodium chloride. Why do we add sodium chloride? ඊළඟට potassium ferricyanide. Potassium ferricyanide. Potassium ferricyanide. The formula is not needed. ඔගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. නිකම්ම මම ලියන්නම්. K3FeCN6. Right? හරි. ඊට පස්සේ you have to boil, then add agar powder, right? You have to add agar powder, 1 teaspoonful of agar powder. Stir well and pour into the petri dishes. Pour the mixture into the petri dishes. ඊළඟට ඒවා cool වෙනකොට they become semi solidified. Pour into the petri dishes. හරිද? ඕක තමයි method එක. Right? දැන් අපි ඇයි මේවා දැම්මේ? You know, දැන් අපි දැක්කනේ when the formation of iron rust, FeOH twice, ferrous hydroxide, hydroxyl ions are formed when the metal is oxidized. He mentioned a metal removes electrons when there is someone to accept electrons. Who accept the electrons? Water and oxygen. So hydroxyl ions are formed. So hydroxyl ions can be identified in the presence of phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein becomes pink in the presence of hydroxyl ions. Harida becomes pink in the presence of hydroxyl ions, OH minus. That is why we add phenolphthalein, which is an acid base indicator. Here we are testing the rusting of iron. So we add sodium chloride since it increases the rate of rusting. We can get the observations faster. Increases the rate of rusting. So we can get the observations faster. So we can get the observations faster since we have added sodium chloride to the medium. Then potassium ferricyanide. If iron undergoes rusting, it forms Fe2 plus ions. If iron undergoes rusting, it forms Fe2 plus ions. So potassium ferricyanide gives a blue color in the presence of blue color, in the presence of Fe2 plus. Right, potassium ferricyanide gives a blue color in the presence of Fe2 plus. හරිද? ඊළඟටයි අපි ඒගා දාන්නේ. It makes a semi-solid medium. It makes a semi-solid medium so that we can obtain the color changes easily. We can obtain the color changes easily. නැත්තම් මේක liquid medium එකක් වුණොත් colors අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඒ ටික ඔක්කොම mix වෙනවා. right? එහෙනම් අපිට ඒකත් ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ පහලට ලියන්න. ඒගා when cools down it becomes a semi-solid medium. Semi-solid medium so that it is easy to get the color changes. Otherwise they will get mixed if we used a liquid medium. හරි. දැන් ඔන්න ටිකක් බලා ගන්න. මොකද වෙන්නේ මෙතන? දැන් in the first one all the factors needed for the rusting of iron is available, right? For the first one. මම වෙනම page ඔයගලන්ට මේ page එක බලන්න දෙන්නම්. So in the case of the first one දැන් අපි මෙහෙම කරමුද? අපි එක එකක් වෙන වෙනම අඳිමුද? ෆස්ට් එකේ මේක විතරක් අඳිනවා. එහෙම කරමු නේද? එතකොට මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් බෝල පහක් ඇඳගත්තද? ඉරේස් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් මං හිතුවා මෙහෙම එකින් එක ඇඳලා ඒක ඉස්සරහින් රියැක්ෂන් එක ලියමු කියලා. එතකොට පැහැදිලි නේද? තාම අඳින්න කිව්වෙත් නෑනේ. බෝල පහක් ඇඳලා නම් ඉරේස් කරන්න වෙනවා. හරි. So in the first one මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඔන්න මේ page එක ලියන්න දෙන්නම් ඉස්සලා අහගන්න. මට කාවවත් පේන්නේ නැහැ. කොහමද ඉන්නේ කියලා. අහගෙනද ඉන්නේ ලියනවාද මොකද කියලා. Right? In the first one all the factors needed for rusting of iron are available. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ iron becomes oxidized. Fe becomes Fe2 plus removing electrons. හරිද? දැන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Fe2 plus ions are there. They will remove the electrons. කොයි වෙලාවටද මේක වෙන්නේ? Yes. When iron comes in contact with water and oxygen. ඔය දෙක ගන්න ලේසි for the two ends. හරිද? Two ends will easily obtain water and oxygen. Right? And they will remove electrons and form Fe2 plus ions. So these electrons will move towards the middle part of the iron nail. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ in the middle part මොකද වෙන්නේ? There is oxygen and water. So they will obtain those electrons and form hydroxyl ions. අපි දන්නවා දැන් balance කරන්න මෙතන 4H minus මෙතන 2H2O නේද? 4 electrons. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? Now in the middle part since there is phenolphthalein we will be able to see the pinkish color at the middle part. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට එහෙම තමයි color changes අපිට බලා ගන්න වෙන්නේ. මොකද the two ends easily they get oxidized. එතකොට since near the two ends there are Fe2 plus ions මොකද වෙන්නේ? Since potassium ferricyanide is there in the medium around the two ends we will see the blue coloration. ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට colors separately බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් only when the medium is a semi solid one. නැත්නම් ඔය colors ටික mix වෙනවා. නේද? ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට ලස්සනට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඉස්කෝලේදී කරයි. නේද? දැන්ටමත් කරපු අය ඉන්නවද? So you will be able to see the color change like this. ඔන්න මම මෙතන red වලින් පෙන්නපු නිසා මෙතනත් මම OH minus red නෙවෙයි pink තමයි වෙන්නේ. Right? හරිද? If you have any problem, just ask.
Miss, why does H2 like those sides come together and form red in the middle?
නෑ පුතේ රෙඩ් නෙමෙයි පින්ක් තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. මේ තියෙන පින්ක් කලරේෂන්. හරිද? දැන් අපි මේක ප්‍රැක්ටිකලි කරලා බැලුවහම මේම තමයි පේන්නේ. මොකද 2 දැන් අපි අයන් නේල් එක ඇතුළට ගිල්ලන්නේ නැහැ. නිකන් උඩින් තියන්නේ පොඩ්ඩක් සබ්මර්ජ් කරලා තියෙනවා. අර ජෙලි මීඩියම් එකේ පොඩ්ඩක් තද කරලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට 2 ends වලට ලේසියෙන් oxygen water these are available නේ. ඒ නිසා මොකද වෙන්නේ? iron removes electrons and form Fe2 plus ions. එතකොට අර අයින් කරපු electrons ටික they move along the iron nail to the middle part. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? Electrons are there. So water and oxygen in the medium කියන්නේ දෙපැත්තෙම එකතු වෙනවා මැද්දට. Right? So water and oxygen in the medium obtain these electrons and they form hydroxyl ions. එතකොට medium එකේ අපි දාලා තියෙනවා phenolphthalein. So phenolphthalein gives a pink coloration in the presence of hydroxyl ions. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ in the medium we have put potassium ferricyanide. It gives a blue color in the presence of Fe2 plus. මේ අයින් දෙකේ oxidize වුණානේ iron nail එක. ඒ නිසා we can see a blue color around the head and the tip of the iron nail. හරිද? හැබැයි මේක ප්‍රැක්ටිකලි කරද්දි සමහර වෙලාවට අපි ඔබ්සර්වේෂන්ස් ගන්න දවස් දෙක තුනක් ගියොත් ඔය ටික මික්ස් වෙලා ජම්බල් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඉක්මනින් ඔබ්සර්වේෂන්ස් ගන්න ඕනේ. හරිද අමාදි නේද ඇහුවේ?
Okay, Miss, thank you.
Once again, when you have finished, raise your hand, right? මම දන්නේ නැනේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියලාද කියලා. පේන්න නැනේ කවුරුත්. ඊළඟට we'll discuss about the next 4 petri dishes. Yes, done. Four of you have raised hands. Anita, Harida. එහෙනම් අපි යමු අපි ඊළඟ හතර දෙක දෙක වෙන් කරගමු. Right? The metals below in the activity series and metals above in the activity series. Above iron in the activity series. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම අපි ගමු metals above iron in the activity series. Right, metals above iron in the activity series. We will take two instances. Right, in one we have kept the iron nail in contact with a piece of magnesium like this, and the other one zinc. And here magnesium, and we'll say this is zinc. Right, iron nail. This is a zinc strip in contact. Right, so this is the iron nail. This is the agar medium. Right, and this is the magnesium strip. So we'll see what happens then. Then nama above iron in the activity series, therefore these two will undergo oxidation. These two will undergo oxidation, protecting iron from rusting, protecting iron becoming the anode. හරිද? මොකද වෙන්නේ එතකොට? Here magnesium will form magnesium 2 plus ions by removing electrons. Right, by removing electrons, oxidation. Right, it has becomes the anode. The magnesium strip has become the anode here. Right, here zinc will undergo oxidation. Right, removing electrons, oxidation, their zinc strip becomes the anode. එතකොට අපි කිව්වා any metal will remove electrons in the presence of another agent to obtain the electrons. කවුද agent? Water and oxygen. එතකොට water and oxygen අපි ගෙලින්ම equation එක ලියනවා දැන් 4 electrons 4 OH minus. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? Near the magnesium strip now there are hydroxyl ions. Near the magnesium strip now there are the magnesium near the magnesium strip, magnesium strip removes electrons. Those electrons move towards the tip. ගොඩක් කලාවට හැබැයි දෙපැත්තෙම අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න පුළුවන් tip and the head both. So here we will be able to see a pink coloration. Pink color can be observed here. මට මෙතන pink නෑනේ. මෙතනින් ගන්න පුළුවන් ඕනනම් pink එච්චර කරදර වෙන්න ඕනේ නෑ නේද? Pink coloration can be seen, and here also the same. හරිද? ඒක පේන්නෙත් නැද්ද කොහෙද? pink කියලා නේ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ pink කියලා ලියා ගන්නකො. So near the tip we can see the pink coloration. Okay. That is because of the presence of hydroxyl ions. මෙතන blue color එකක් දකින්න පුළුවන්ද? blue වෙන්නේ in the presence of Fe2 plus. Fe2 plus there is no blue color. Cathodic reaction 2H2O plus 4 electrons, 4 hydroxyl ions. During cathodic protection. This is what we call as cathodic or the sacrificial protection. So both magnesium and zinc are above iron in the activity series. Right? Both methods. This one and this one both are examples for cathodic protection or the sacrificial protection. Metals below iron in the activity series. And raise your hand once you have finished. Raise your hands, right, once you have finished, to teach you the last two. Then hydroxyl ions means Zara, this is the same medium. Api muling hadagata medium එක තමයි petri dishes පහටම දාන්නේ. We put the same medium we prepared earlier to all the 5 petri dishes. Okay, Zara. A medium එකම තමයි ඒගා medium කියලා label කළේ. So this medium also contains phenolphthalein, potassium ferricyanide and sodium chloride. ඒවා දාන්න reasons අහනවා. ඒ නිසායි මම ඒ ටිකත් mention කළේ, the reasons. Okay? හරි වගේ නේද? මනුති done? සෙසන්දි? අමාදි? Sara? හරි නේ? Now we are moving on to the last two. Amadi, Sesandi. Hari. එතකොට ඊළඟට metals below iron in the activity series. Metals below iron in the activity series. Metals below iron in the activity series. අන්න අපි එතනදි ගන්නවා අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් tin, copper නේද? As metals below iron in the activity series, even lead. Right? ඔන්න අර medium එකම තමයි. Agar medium. This is we'll say zinc strip. Sorry, zinc නෙමෙයි. Lead. Tin and lead ගමු. Tin strip. මෙයා tin කියලා දන්නවනේ. Tin strip. And this is Pb, lead. And the iron nail. Iron nail කියලා දන්නවනේ. හරි. දැන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Both of these are below iron in the activity series. එතකොට අපි දන්නවා the one which is above in the activity series will undergo oxidation. දැන් iron ට හරි වැඩේ වෙන්නේ. Fe becomes Fe2 plus. Iron is rusted. Right? Iron undergoes rusting. හැබැයි මේක වැරදියට තේරුම් ගන්න එපා. ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි කිව්වේ tin coating එකක් දානවා කියලා. ඒක paint එකක් වගේ. It is like a paint when there is a tin coating. But when the tin coating is scratched, iron undergoes rusting. Right? 2 electrons. මෙතනත් වෙන්නේ ඒකම තමයි. එතකොට since iron removes electrons in the presence of water and oxygen, මොකද වෙන්නේ? These electrons will move towards the tin strip here and the lead strip here, and එතෙන්දී reaction එකත් ලියලා ඉමු. Water 2H2O plus O2 plus 4 electrons, 4 hydroxyl ions. The same thing here. So you will be able to see the pink coloration near the two strips. Right? 4 electrons, 4 OH minus. Hey, iron became oxidized. Those electrons moved towards the tin strip and the lead strip. Then what happened? Yes. So we can see the pink coloration just around the two strips. Pink coloration because of the presence of phenolphthalein. Right? ඊට පස්සේ since iron became oxidized and form Fe2 plus ions, we can see the blue coloration, especially near the tip of the iron nail, which is easy to be oxidized, even the head region. But here we have put the other metal strips close to the head. And so this is what we observe. Now, blue color is given by potassium ferricyanide in the presence of Fe2 plus ions. Pink color is given by hydroxyl ions in the presence of phenolphthalein. When metals below iron in the activity series are kept in contact with iron, iron becomes the cathode. Sorry, iron becomes the anode. In those two instances, iron becomes the anode. Iron becomes the anode and undergoes rusting. When iron is in contact with a metal below iron in the activity series. Hari ned? So that is the end of our 12th lesson. Next time we will start the 11th and 15th lessons, right? 11th and 15th will be started in the coming Saturday. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට extra sessions දාන්න වෙන්නේ. ඔයාලට 7th නේ school holidays සම්මෙන්. Hari. Emanang, if you don't have any problem, once you finish writing, you can leave since the time has passed. 20 minutes passed. විනාඩියකට previous slide එක පෙන්වන්න කියනවා. ඔන්න පොඩි වෙලාවකට දානවා. Have a nice day, Manuti. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Miss Pompey.
Okay, Andrea, bye. Have a nice day.